In the southeast region of Nigeria, a growing number of abandoned projects has become a major concern for residents and stakeholders. These projects, many of which were once heralded as game changers for economic development and social welfare, now lie dormant, a stark reminder of the political motivations and poor planning that led to their failure. Instead of boosting the economy and improving lives, they have become symbols of waste, with billions of taxpayers' money funneled into incomplete ventures. This troubling trend spans across all five states in the southeast of Nigeria: Ebonyi, Enugu, Imo, Abia, and Anambra states. Why do politicians start projects they never complete? How do these projects, many of which are essential, like healthcare centers and water systems, get abandoned despite their clear benefits to the people? These are questions that continue to puzzle the region's residents, including you. One of the most glaring examples is in Ebonyi State. Over 2 decades ago, the state's first civilian governor, Dr. Sam Ominyi Egu, dreamed of establishing a 10-story World Trade Center (WTC) that would serve as a hub for commerce, investment, and tourism. Despite raising the building to its full height and roofing it, the project was abandoned when Egu left office in 2007. More than 17 years later, the structure remains incomplete, a massive, unused edifice that has drained billions of naira. Can you imagine how much value such a project could have added to Ebonyi's economy if it had been fully operational? Governor Francis Nwifuru, who took office in 2023, has not yet addressed whether this project is part of his agenda. Early this year, he had made an announcement about his intention in handling the project. But like the WTC, many other projects in Ebonyi State, such as the Olympic International Stadium and five-star hotel, have remained unfinished despite substantial investment. Imo State has its own share of abandoned projects as we speak, with healthcare facilities topping the list. In 2017, former Governor Rochas Okorocha embarked on an ambitious plan to build 27 general hospitals, one in each local government area. Although some buildings were constructed, they were never fully equipped, and many now stand as empty, vandalized shells. What could have been life-saving infrastructure for the people of Imo State is now left to decay, highlighting the disconnect between political promises and actual outcomes. Even current Governor Hope Uzodinma has not taken concrete steps to revive these hospitals, leaving many residents to question, why are critical projects like this left to rot when they are so vital to the well-being of the people? In Enugu State, the story is no different. In 2012, Governor Sullivan Chime initiated the construction of a 13.6 billion naira secretariat complex to provide better working conditions for state workers. Despite the lofty goals, only one of the three buildings was completed before Chime left office in 2015. The remaining two structures have been left untouched, adding to the long list of abandoned projects in the state. To date, the current governor, Peter Mba, has not publicly prioritized completing the secretariat, even though many government offices are still housed in outdated, dilapidated buildings. Is this yet another case of misplaced priorities in the region? The southeast region of Nigeria is facing a growing crisis of abandoned projects, with no fewer than 15,000 government initiatives left uncompleted. These projects, which span healthcare, infrastructure, and energy, are not just wasted opportunities, but also a drain on the region's scarce resources. How did we get here? And more importantly, can the situation be reversed? Power supply is the backbone of every thriving economy, but in the southeast, critical electricity projects have also fallen victim to neglect. According to Emmanuel Akpa, the Enugu regional manager of the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN), 21 power projects in the region have been abandoned since 2019 due to a combination of funding issues and community resistance over land rights. These projects, which could have boosted power in key areas such as Arochukwu, Okigwe, Nnewi, Nsukka, and Olu, now sit idle. Can you imagine the economic impact if these power projects had been completed? Businesses would flourish and the quality of life for residents would improve dramatically. As it stands, the region remains in a state of power deficit, which hampers its economic growth. After nearly 2 decades of inactivity, the Enugu State International Conference Center is beginning to reach its full potentials. The multi-million naira center started several years ago by the administration of Chimaroke Nnamani, which has started receiving attention. Two administrations administrations before Governor Mba turned their back on the project, which had been roofed, the conference center, which is sandwiched between the Enugu Government House and the State House of Assembly, was initiated for want of a venue that could absorb large gatherings. Most of the buildings in the center had been roofed and some of the fittings fixed before Nnamani exited office in 2007. His successor, Sullivan Chime, did not think the state needed such a project and therefore did not care about its completion. This created an avenue for the vandalization of the center. Parts of the unused surroundings were partitioned and sold to private individuals. After the immediate past administration of Ebonyi assumed office, it promised to complete the center, but for 8 years, the most it did was to cut grass anytime there was an outcry that the overgrown center constituted a danger to the residents. The current governor, Mba, has recovered all land parcellated and sold in the center. He has also awarded a contract for the completion as well as inaugurated a 5-star hotel on the premises of which work has started. In Anambra State, the story of abandonment extends to critical road infrastructure. Various road projects, some of which were initiated as far back as the 1990s, have been left incomplete despite their importance to economic activity in the state. Among these are the Nnewi-Ekulobia Road, a crucial link for the movement of goods and services, and the Onitsha-Anyamelum Road, which would have provided easier access to the agricultural belt of the state. What would it mean for the people of Anambra if these roads were completed? Would we see improved trade and better access to essential services? These are questions worth asking if we reflect on the massive opportunities lost to project abandonment. Successive governments in Enugu have also failed to prioritize the completion of the Medical Diagnostic Center, a state-of-the-art facility designed to provide crucial healthcare services. Started by the Chimaroke Nnamani administration and left unfinished by Sullivan Chime, the project is emblematic of the state's struggles with project continuity. Despite being physically completed in terms of building infrastructure, the lack of essential medical equipment has rendered the facility non-operational, causing further delays in providing healthcare services that could have been transformative for the region. However, many other projects across the southeast continue to languish in the state of limbo. The Anambra Meteorological Training Institute flooding issue, the stalled Ugwaku-Achala Road project in Umuchu, and over 50 water-related projects in Anambra, many of which were constituency projects funded by the federal government, are stark examples of how pervasive the issue of project abandonment is across the region, with the socio-economic impact of such neglect becoming increasingly dire. From increased unemployment to a rise in crime, experts like Professor Chiwike Uba and Daniel Uku argue that these projects, if completed, could significantly boost development, provide jobs, and enhance the overall quality of life in the region. Public figures and organizations, including the Civil Liberty Organization (CLO), have urged current administrations to take action and revive these abandoned projects, citing their potential to spur economic growth and provide much-needed infrastructure. The situation in Abia State is similarly grim. Projects such as the Port Harcourt Road in Aba and the Umuahia and Aba Regional Water Projects have seen multiple rounds of abandonment and reaward without final completion. The Aba Dry Seaport, Aba Refinery, and other critical infrastructure projects that could have repositioned the state's economy were either never completed or have been neglected. Governor Alex Otti, like his predecessors, has had to grapple with a long list of uncompleted projects, but has shown some early promise by rewarding contracts and engaging new contractors for key projects. One solution being floated is the potential for public-private partnerships to complete some of these projects. Public affairs analysts like Mwachukwu Obinna argue that such partnerships could provide the financial muscle needed to finish this project, while also creating long-term sustainability by bringing in experienced management from the private sector. Nevertheless, a lack of political will, compounded by a system where successive governments often ignore or outright abandon their predecessors' projects, continues to be a significant obstacle. Many analysts and civil society organizations are calling for more accountability and a long-term vision for development that transcends individual political interests. While projects like the International Conference Center and efforts by Governor Peter Mba provide a glimmer of hope, there is still much work to be done to address the systemic challenges that have left the Southeast littered with uncompleted infrastructure. In summary, the Southeast region of Nigeria has become a hotspot for abandoned projects, with devastating consequences for its economy and residents. From healthcare facilities in Imo to power projects across the region, and from Ebonyi's World Trade Center to Enugu Secretariat and Conference Center, the story is one of mixed opportunities and wasted resources. So, what will it take to change this narrative? Is there hope that current administrations can break the circle of abandonment and deliver on the promises made to their people? These are questions worth exploring on Ebonyi People TV. Stay tuned for more updates and discussions on these pressing issues, and we'll see you in our next video.